So there is a new article regarding Hypergryph's establishment and Arknights history and Enfield that has been released on LeiPhone, a famous Chinese media website, and thank you to the Reddit user that translated it. I will link the description if you want to read it yourself. I will now read it, maybe explain some stuff if needed, and maybe talk about some stuff. And yeah, be ready, this will be a long one, I'm pretty sure. So, Hypergryph, the last handcraft artisan among anime-style game studios. In the world of anime-style gaming, there has long been a certain legend circulating. A curious individual once asked a senior executive at MiHoYo, who do you think is MiHoYo's biggest competitor? At a time when giants like Tencent and NetEase surrounded the battlefield, executive's answer was unexpected. I think it's Hypergryph. The reasoning behind this answer was sound. Hypergryph resembled an early stage MiHoYo the most. However, even such a small but refined studio has faced challenges of stagnation in recent years. Currently, the vast majority of Hypergryph cash flow still comes from Arknights, a game released more than 5 years ago. Even though the second closed beta PV for Arknights Endfield, released a month ago, retains Hypergryph's signature style, and the recently held closed door demo event showcased considerable craftsmanship and sincerity from the development. It remains to be seen whether the game can satisfy the learning tastes of Arknights players. In a way, Arknights Endfield represents Hypergryph's own version of Genshin Impact. If successful, it could allow Hypergryph to once again follow in MiHoYo's footsteps. However, if the game's reception, both in terms of market, performance and player feedback, falls short of expectations, Hypergryph, while unlikely to perish, will see its reputation as a leader in the anime-style gaming space tarnished once again, just as it was after Asteii. About the first thing, that Arknights Endfield represents Hypergryph's own version of Genshin Impact. If you don't like Genshin or MiHoYo, it doesn't sound like you might not like how it sounds, but you have to think that it actually does make sense. As before Genshin, MiHoYo wasn't that famous, but they were known, and they weren't really mainstream. I think I don't really know how it was with Honking Back, to be honest, but it's what I'm guessing at least. And it's the same for Hypergryph, like with Arknights. Of course, Arknights is actually really famous and well known compared to maybe Honkai Impact 3rd. I can't say for sure about that. But yeah, Enfield is a 3D gacha game, so it is technically, even if it's not the same, like basically no way the same game as Genshin, it is their own version of Genshin Impact in the way that they basically become a mainstream and can do stuff in their own, release the games on their own, like outside of China. I don't know how it was with MiHoYo Genshin, or if they release games outside of China on their own. So I can't confirm that, but I think you understand. Though X-Axis was technically the first step, I think. But yeah, this might be a moment unique to Hypergryph, a handcraft artisan in an industry where every studio boasts about their industrialization capabilities. It's a moment of both bravery and tragedy. Kind of true, there are many gacha games that releases and goes DOS end of service. Kind of sad with some, but that's it is kind of hard to become successful within the gacha space. miHoYo is already well known. Azur works also. Hypergryph and more probably. This can be hard. Among Shanghai's 4 rising stars in the gaming industry, Hypergryph's Arknights Endfield for its own fans. Yeah, among Shanghai's 4 rising stars in the gaming industry, Hypergryph's unique company identity stands out. In terms of focus, Lilith Games emphasizes strategy, card games, paper games, excels at female-oriented games, and miHoYo has undoubtedly claimed the top spot in the anime-style gaming space. Within this same anime-style gaming niche, Hypergryph's scale is not comparable to that of miHoYo. However, size and influence are not always directly proportional. As Fang Lin, an industry professional in anime-style games, put it, Arknight's contribution to anime-style games and even the broader anime fandom by no means lesser than miHoYo's. In fact, within the hierarchy of anime-style gameplay, Arknight's fans often appear to be more focused on the niche audience compared to Genshin Impact players. Which is, yeah, you can basically see that Genshin, if people hate ad, which of course it has downsides, or it's more casual, even in my perspective. I can see the casual side, but it all with some stuff, when I see complaining, it doesn't seem that casual. I guess it has both sides, but yeah, I can see that it is casual, or yeah, more people are able to enjoy it, I guess. Even yeah, anyway, I can see how people can like it with the combat stuff, I guess. But for me, I'm not a fan of the game. If we rewind to August 15th, 2017, and the day of the official Arknights Weibo account made its first post, it not only marked the birth of the Arknights IP, but also revealed an essential piece of information. The world of Arknights has a narrative connection to the Shanada. You know if that's how you say it or how you say it, so I apologize. Yeah, I try. I try. Universe, a prior concept envisioned by LeiPhone, Hypergryph's co-founder and producer. By examining LeiPhone's work from Nikioso era, we may better understand the cultural roots of Arknight's core audience. The history of Nikioso dates back to 2008, when it emerged as a renowned domestic and doujin circle in the anime space. The group became famous for its extensive fan works centered on the Toho Project series, including but not limited to illustrations, fanfictions, and music. These works include titles such as Toho Hakurei Manor and Gensokyo Grand Encyclopedia. So here you can see that Arknights has some Toho, I guess, references, or it's inspired stuff. So I have seen some people mention it in the comments on the post, I don't know a lot about Toho, so if someone that watches this video knows, you can comment and maybe tell a bit. Yeah, tell a bit say why or what, I guess. In 2009, LeiPhone, then a freshman in college, joined this legendary Dojo circle. What makes Nikioso legendary is that many of its members later became key figures at Hypergryph. For instance, Hypergryph's art director, Wei, was not only the former president of Nikioso, but also LeiPhone's senior in college. Even after Hypergryph was founded, Nikioso maintained a deep and close collaborative relationship with the company. As a seasoned figure in the anime-style community, its story has left numerous traces across the internet. One popular anecdote states that during his busiest senior year of high school, LeiPhone never gave up on creating fanfiction. First serialized fanfiction, Toho Shojin published on Toho Town, was written during this period. On May 19th, 2010, LeiPhone created an illustration titled The Gas Mask Moko, which later appeared in his personal art collection, The Radiation, The Fallen Gods Protocol, released at CP7 on December 12 the same year. The work bore the branding of Xanadu, Heavenly Court, and through a series of subsequent doujin works, eventually evolved into 3 Shanada Complete 3.0 by 2013. LeiPhone's talent for illustration and world building began to shine during this time, which of course you can see in the Arknights story about the world building. It's I think most, at least, say that think it's really good would say it's like the best, if not the best, within the gacha space, and it's probably even one of the best outside the gacha space. I can't say for sure about that, but I would guess, since I would guess that it's good outside of the gacha space, at least, like really good. I can't say how famous it is in that way, but I hope that's the stuff. I wonder how they will do world building and stuff in Endfield, because I haven't looked at anything other than the gacha system that I did a video on. So yeah, that's one thing I honestly wonder, like how the story and stuff will, how similar it will feel to Arknights. That's one thing I don't know how I see how similar or feel how similar. But I guess we have to see until another beta or until it releases. The series of works based on the 3 Shanda universe gained significant influence in the anime-style doujin community, particularly within the art circle. However, it was only after LeiPhone left Sunborn Network's Mika team that he was able to fully fan passion into the game project. We had a bit of LeiPhone backstory, LeiPhone lore. I'm not gonna comment on that. I'm not. It has nice that he, in a way, nice that he left the Mika team to, for his passion, Arknights. If he didn't leave, we probably wouldn't have Arknights, which, I'm happy about that. By piecing together fragmented ideas from the 3 Shanda universe, we can certainly glimpse of new world. Arknights is an entirely original project. Monsters act as the gears that keep Running, focusing on the dangerous fight for survival until tomorrow. Which, yeah, if you read the at least main story, can't say for sure about side stories, but it probably exists in most side stories. Yeah, it exists. That's yeah, you basically, that's all you see in Arknights basically, in the story. And they do it pretty good, as a visual novel. This concept also incorporates some of the ideas and concept art initially completed in Canada and the early stages of Arknights. Although the project is currently oriented toward mobile gaming, we hope this will serve as an opportunity for many to enjoy the concept. At the time, I poured a lot of ideas into it along with my friends and collaborators. I'm also deeply grateful to all creators who have contributed their own children, characters and ideas. This is such a strange world, allowing them to interact and spark so many abilities. Of course, the project is still in its early stages, while it is still young and many issues to address. We hope to let everyone experience you get a chance to interact with it in the future. Hope you find interesting ideas, original critiques, and constructive feedback. Please be patient and supportive. It would mean a lot to her. We're thrilled to hear your voice. Thank you. So, I'm guessing this is something it's I don't know if that's what he posted like on the Weibo account in 2017. But I would guess that. So yeah, that's something nice to see. Yes, that like kind of tells the story, I guess, a bit about Arknights or something. So yeah, it's nice to see that, and to see that of course he's passionate, which makes sense. It's something he created and stuff. And if he wouldn't be passionate about something you created, I'm I don't think you would really deserve to create that or keep it, I guess. Since it would seem that you would appreciate the world you made then, I guess. I guess that could be the case too sometimes. I'll say for sure. Anyway, according to a Toho project enthusiast who is also an Arknights player, worldview and the character designs in Arknights contain many elements reminiscent of Toho. For example, the Arknights operator Hajiguma shares several similarities with Toho project's character Yugi Hajiguma in various details, such as being tall, having a single and possessing long hair, among others. As I said before, yeah, Arknights has world. Arknights has elements of Toprom. I can't, since I'm not familiar. It would be nice if you could comment if you know a good amount of Toho, what you see, what elements you see of object in Arknight. Another key element lies in the name Xanadu itself, which corresponds to the letter half of Shikieki Yamashanadu's surname from Toho. Chinese translation Heavenly Court also aligns with the interpretation of paradise. In the original zero setting and concept of Yamasanadu, in Toho, Pensokyo is often referred to as paradise. By analogy, the story of Arknights also takes place in a world that could be considered as, I don't know if they mean paradise. If I would, when I read Arknights, I don't know if I would say it's paradise. I don't know if I can consider Arknights a paradise. be honest. Yeah, I'd say, I mean, not in some places, maybe in the world, in Arknights, I can see it. But now there, not so much. No, I don't know exactly what they mean. As it seems like, yeah, Gensoki is referred to as paradise. Could be referred to as something else. As they say, it can be considered its own version of Gensokyo. So its own version of paradise, I guess. Yeah, maybe. Before Arknights officially launched, the game underwent a final large-scale beta test. During this period, the game's rating dropped from 9 to 6, and the player feedback pointing to the challenging game design and specific aspects of the progression system. In a pre-launch live stream, Lovelace apologized to players and promised significant changes to address the. Less than a month later, on April 30, 2019, Arknights officially launched. To celebrate its release, over 100 fan artists from the community, and many of whom had prior connections to Lowlight and through Dodging activities, created a congratulatory illustration. At the same time, all the promised revisions were implemented, and the game served successfully with the surge of incoming, requiring only 2 maintenance periods on May 3rd and May 6th, both at 3 am. So this whole thing is honestly kind of nice. Like it was they had a last final large-scale beta, and yeah, they of course listened to the players, that it was challenging and fixed it. Of course it has challenging things now, but I don't know if they did it that before, but now they are clearing every stage with like 4 stars, and maybe some lower, maybe 3 stars. To yeah, so you know that basically know that everything is clearable no matter what, even with 4 stars. So yeah, that's something you see often, especially with the guides when you look that up in Arknights. On some reason, how it only needs 2 maintenance, and that it's only between like 3 within 3. So that's pretty good, honestly. Both at 3 AM. I don't know how many players that played like on launch, like in China. Maybe from outside too. I don't know. But still, it's pretty good, especially for like their first game. Unlike most commercial games, Arknights places greater emphasis on player feedback, has one of the fastest response times and highest content production capacities in the industry, and offers an expansive, highly adaptive. With these characteristics, Arknights could arguably be considered the largest door, perhaps without E. Its vitality has far surpassed the boundaries of a tower defense game, has positioned Arknights as a cultural phenomenon in China, in the anime fan community, standing on par with Toho. So, of course, you can see, yeah, they do listen to feedback, and with some things I think they could implement it faster sometimes, but I don't know exactly how they work. Like the way they work with implementing things, but otherwise I can't say for sure how fast they are with feedback, to be honest. I haven't experienced it like firsthand, I guess. But otherwise, yeah, it definitely has like the highest content production capacity in the, I guess, gacha industry. I don't know if they are talking about the gacha or maybe outside, but yeah, they are. There is a lot of content in most of it, at least. I mean, stuff. It's a mobile game, so it's of course clearable faster than usual. If you skip story at least, but otherwise, yeah, it can take a good amount of time. Yeah. But the last thing, so yeah, of course it's a tower defense game. So, and I mean, I'm not sure, but I think some said in the comments that it is kind of an understatement that the culture, that it's cultural phenomenon. Since it is huge in China and Japan, but like in China, even though it doesn't feel as popular, it's probably on the level, uh, popularity wise, it's probably on the level uh, as like some Hoyo games maybe. Like it's insanely popular, especially when you, yeah, someone in the comments said, but I mean it is true. Like with ambient synesthesia, tickets for the last one in 2024. I think they had a concert 6 times or something. I don't know if Starset was on all of them, but since I know it was something that Starset was there for like another thing, but then Hypergryphs saw they were there, so they basically asked them to come to the concert and play, because why not? And they, yeah, play there. So yeah, right. The tickets for, I think, all the like 6, 7 concerts they had, I think all they sold out within like 30 seconds. Like this was probably the biggest Arknights concert that they have had, if I think about it. So it probably is an understatement to say it's a cultural phenomenon. To be honest, it's like, I don't know if there is another word for to say like bigger than a cultural phenomenon, since Arknights is insanely huge in China. Sadly, it is less famous or less well known and more to the west. Though it is also insane when you think about it, that if you didn't know, a it has been a while since then, but still it still happened. It's insane to think about that. Some time when the Lone Trail event came out on Global, I think I think writer or someone that worked on Baldur's Gate 3 at least, that much I know, commented on how good the Lone Trail story was. Last was it? I forgot which song, if it was a song, but I think Ambient a Arknights concert also won something from like a Hollywood thing, which is also insane to think about. It was like a year ago or something, like Ambient Synesthesia 2023, I think. That one was also insanely good. But yeah, it probably is an understatement to say it's a cultural phenomenon when you think about it. I mean, on release, maybe, but later on, like when Global came and like now, after 5 years, it's definitely an understatement to say it's a culture. I can't say for sure when it got, but yeah. Anyway, let's stop japping. Yes, let's continue anyway. A Dodging Circle that owns a game company, or a music company that makes a game. You could, yeah. Oh, I mean, I guess a Dodging Circle that owns a music company that makes games maybe works better. Yeah. A game investor, Shi Long, once described the Hypergryph to a LeiPhone as a game company that truly understands content, which I honestly agree on that. Or they understand the players more at least than some uh, other game companies. I mean, with some devs that works on some games that understand the players, but otherwise, yeah. Reviewing Hypergryph's shareholder list, aside from the shareholder from Usage Investment Group, their main individual shareholders have a strong background in creative content. Naturally, Lowlight Shong Shi Wang is the most prominent, followed by Wang Weishi, known in the current as Wei. The former president of Nikioso and the lead artist of Arknights. Additionally, there's Fan Rundong, lead designer, Wan Li, lead programmer, and Le Yunwei, combatant level design. This core creative team has remained intact in this. I just hope I said the names good enough at least. Yeah, I don't know. In my head it sounded good at least. During the Arknights era, which emphasized visual design and art direction, this lineup of creative was more than however, as Hypergryph shifted its focus to technical breakthrough, transitioning from 2D to 3D, this became an apparent weakness in their product development. Asteii was launched as an experimental product under these circumstances. Look at the production credits reveals that even though it's a free game, a significant proportion of creators were doujin artists with online pseudonyms. In contrast, the technical expertise seemed relatively lacking. Many players of Asteii more like cashing in on the price review. I don't know exactly what that means, to be honest, but I think of what I played of Asteii. It's not a bad game. Like, as a mobile experimental game product, it's not bad. If you compare it to maybe Opicom, at least, yeah, I don't know how it is with that game, but at least if you play the beta, something, a demo beta, I think it's a good game. Like, compared to Asteii, it's good. It's a family game, but good. That said, Hypergryph roots as a doujin circle played a significant role during this period. The heartfelt apology letter from the creators, coupled with the consistently high quality updates nights, ensured that development Arknights Endfield was not heavily financially. For example, Yi Hui, who has worked on the Endfield team for 2 years, noted that most of his interactions with Lowlight, E2 and others were through directives issued during the development process. Typically, Lowlight would be the person directly making decisions, issuing instructions. However, according to Yi Hui's understanding of Hypergryph's management, this isn't a one-man dictatorship in decision making. Instead, it operates more like a doujin circle, where decisions are made collaboratively. If compared to Lilith Games' confederation-style management, Hypergryph's structure is closer to a classical democratic parliamentary system. I can't say with everything that I understood everything, thus I don't know exactly how a doujin circle works, but from the sounds of it, it seems good. Of course there is flaws, but we get to in a second in the media article. This approach has its advantages. Regular employees outside the decision-making circle generally hold positive impressions of Flow A2 and other top decision makers. There is no concern about conflicting orders, as the process simply involves following directives from the top management. However, this model isn't without. If the project takes a wrong direction, the cost of correction course and the filling in technical games can be quite high. More importantly, the time required to make these corrections is significant. The market shifts or competing product comes first, the expectations for Endfield could take a substantial hit. Which, yeah, I guess this is basically the flaw, the only flaw, which is a bad flaw, yes, or big flaw. But for Arknights, like with the Queen thing, for me, no matter when it launches, I will play it, to be honest. If it launches when the maybe Bait collab comes in Star Rail, I will do Endfield first. Or I could go in like Star Rail first, pull, go out. But when Endfield launches, that's what I will focus on for me. But yeah, I mean, overall it's still good for them to launch it at a good time. Like, and that's another thing we get to the next thing. From a development timeline perspective, Arknights Endfield received its game license on August 30th, 2024. Given Arknights' continued vitality, the team could reasonably spend 2 years polishing the product. Yes. However, Shilong believes that launching the game within a year of obtaining the license would be a more suitable window. The longer it is delayed, the greater the pressure on Hypergryph. Which of course, yeah, this makes sense. That last bit, since the longer it takes, for example, if they are quiet like a long time after this beta, like I don't know, 6 months, the expectations will get higher and higher. So I don't know how long it takes to fix everything that needs to be fixed and stuff like that. And which I just want to say it. If you haven't looked at the latest video where I talk about why the gacha is actually good, as someone that played normal Arknights and didn't get in Endfield beta, I hope they don't change it so it's similar to a Hoyo game, like Wuthering Waves. I hope they basically keep their own system, so it's both unique, plus it's actually really good. And yeah, if you haven't watched the video, I would recommend watching it. I can't just go and explain everything why the system is actually good. In this video. It would just be longer. Yeah, go watch it. I recommend watching it to someone else if that's what you want, but yeah, at least so you know why it's actually better. Last thing before continuing with about the other things, like maybe combats, character progression, stuff like that. I can't comment on that. I haven't played and I don't know how it feels, and I haven't looked at anything else other than the gacha system, of course. So yeah, I don't have any comment on other changes. I trust the people that give feedback to give good feedback, and for Hypergryph to make the good decisions that make the game good with how they want it to be, but also what the player wants it to be, something like that. But anyway, enough rant about Endfield. This is about Hypergryph in general, and Arknights, and let's continue. Hypergryph's exploration of transitioning from 2D tower defense to 3D action games has not been entirely smooth. Based on the first beta test in 2023, significant areas for improvement remain. These include foundation elements like engine technology or initiative questions as whether the construction combat mechanics can be seamlessly integrated. At least from the initial feedback, there is still much room for refinement. This is something from after the technical test, which I saw a good amount, plus I played like 30-minute demo at Gamescom. Yeah, that's basically it. Except of course looked at the demo video, the trailer there. So I mean, I can see the improvements definitely, of course, but since I can't comment a lot since I didn't play the tech test and I didn't get into beta test yet. If that still counts. But yeah, I see the improvements they have made, definitely. Like just from looking, they have done good improvements, to be honest. But I am kind of glazing them a bit. Another word I don't remember yet. Yeah. I like Arknights, so as long as I guess Hypergryph is happy with it, I'm happy. If that makes sense, maybe. But yeah, anyway. To address these core challenges, Hypergryph seems to have no better option than this strategy of treatment. This leads to another pressing question. Who can provide Hypergryph with a steady supply of 3D-oriented technical and gameplay talent? Conveniently located in Shanghai, Tencent's Arknights studio, known for its flagship 3D martial arts MMORPG Moonlight Blade Online, and NetEase's LeiPhone studio in Hangzhou, creators of Justice Online, represent a rich potential talent pool. A historical opportunity arose in October 2020 when the mobile version of Moonlight Blade launched, leading to a significant wave of departure from its project team. According to Asteii, a former team member who spoke LeiPhone, a considerable number of 3D professionals, including programmers, PMs, designers, and interaction specialists, joined Hypergryph from this exodus. From the distribution of their projects, some joined ongoing development, while others worked on Arknights series IP projects. Based on the industry principle of choosing MiHoYo when MiHoYo positions are available, Hypergryph wasn't the first choice for many Tencent employees. However, at that time, MiHoYo happened to be scaling back its recruitment efforts, and Hypergryph unexpectedly became the promised land for many ex-Tencent employees during its most critical talent shortage. And this is honestly something I guess I would like. And it's sad that they needed to quit the job they had before, but they joined Hypergryph, which I'm happy about. I mean, Arknights and Enfield, it wouldn't really exist much. Arknights maybe would exist, but Endfield maybe wouldn't exist. Yeah, many of them probably were good for 3D things. Yeah, nice to see that Hypergryph's luck was good. It was extremely good luck. Game designer Xi Shang joined Hypergryph during this wave of recruit. According to him, Hypergryph often leaves a more flexibility when assigning roles. An employee with an 80-point skill level who typically receive work with a 60-point level of difficulty. This approach made Xi Shang feel his colleagues were overwhelmingly competent, at least within the Endfield project team. Having team members whose abilities exceed their role requirements is not a bad thing. Decisions are made to change the game's direction or rebuild the gameplay systems. The team can execute efficiently as long as the leadership approves. This efficiency has led to noticeable improvements in productivity. This, I just want to mention, sounds really nice, since if you just start directly with the 80 point, there can come some... There might come times when it's harder for you to like program maybe, while if you start with like yeah, as you said, 60 points level of difficulty, yeah, you can of course feel that it's easier to work with the colleagues, since I mean, they can understand you and you can understand them or something like that. And yeah, it sounds nice, at least. Is what I'm trying to say. It sounds good, I guess. Anyway, let's continue with. As a result, the overall workload at Hypergryph is relatively moderate. Even when overtime occurs, employees receive a corresponding overtime compensation. Of course, that's really good. Chongyang, who has worked in engine development for many years, believes that for a studio transitioning from a craft workshop-style game development approach to meet the post-Genshin Impact era's demands for higher visual fidelity and corresponding development paradigms, the challenges are immense. Whether or not a studio has the technical foundation, bridging such a generational gap in quality is extremely difficult without an expert who understands pipeline work and has experience building. Of course, with this you can see it. I mean, it makes sense that they are trying to meet the like post-Genshin Impact era, since the demands technically higher, even if Arknights as a game is good, of course. It's still good for them to make a 3D game, since it's something people want to, and not only to such a game, if that makes sense. I don't know if I think that makes sense, at least. One significant advantage for Hypergryph is that with a strong assembly of talent, a capable leader doesn't need to additional personnel to quickly establish a 3D technical framework and gameplay system. This was a key prerequisite for the seamless integration of GUI, first generation engine leads from Moonlight Line and from the deputy manager of 10 studios, along with a group of technical experts. Hypergryph. According to the latest business registration data, Hypergryph Network Technology Co. Limited reported 1,296 insured employees in 2023. The current headcount is likely even higher. For Hypergryph's flagship project, the Arknights Endfield team, it wouldn't be surprising if half the company is allocated. Which, yeah, I mean, I agree on that. It wouldn't be surprising since that's I guess, harder to develop, and they kind of want to work faster, so they have multiple employees working on it, so stuff kind of gets done faster, I guess. If that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, to be honest. In my head, that kind of makes sense. Like, since I don't know how much changes and how much they added between the technical test this beta, so yeah. But yeah, anyway. As the team size continues to grow, Hypergryph faces increasingly direct challenges in product management. Unlike Dai, the hands-on genius behind MiHoYo, product leads such as LeiPhone and Hey2 are known for micromanaging every detail. However, the Dodge and Circle background provides some really unique advantages that HoYo lacks. Yeah, I can't comment on that much, but I don't know his background much, and I know more about like LeiPhone's background, the Circle. But yeah, I trust it. I trust LeiPhone. As previously mentioned, LeiPhone holds significant influence within the ACG, anime, comics, and game community. Among Hypergryph's employees, there are many fans of LeiPhone's and Doujin work. For instance, Yi Hui has a self-published Doujin art book created by LeiPhone in home. This means that when LeiPhone acts as the spokesperson for the decision making, he cannot not only communicate decisions, but also ease potentially concerns or dissent from employees, fostering a collaborative atmosphere project development. According to Shishang, while Hypergryph assigns many engineers capable of building planes to screw tightening tasks, company ensures the compensation matches high-level skills. Salaries are positioned in the upper middle range among the so-called Force 1 dragons, the Chinese gaming industry. Moreover, regardless of an employee's age or tenure, Hypergryph provides a commercially critical illness insurance policy worth 5 figures RMB, with a coverage cap of up to 1 million RMB. This insurance covers all illnesses and pre-existing conditions and allows access to VIP specialist appointment at public and many private hospitals in Shanghai. And this is something that I think is, like, honestly both important, I guess, and really nice to see, since, I mean, yeah, it's just really good. So I can't say for sure if it's like every employee that gets it, or if it's like a special, like grade or something of employee. But either way, it's still really good. While it's unclear how many employees have benefited from this policy, one thing is certain: Hypergryph's employee turnover rate is extraordinarily low for the gaming industry. It's in the market, offer to find former Hypergryph employees looking for new jobs as game designers, the Shanghai remarked. Which, I mean, when you kind of read this or listen to this, you can see it. And plus, if you have seen like stuff Hypergryph have done, like they have done charities and stuff, so it makes sense. Honestly, it seems like they are good for their employees, and I mean they do charities. They also do kind of giveaways things to the employees. Like one of the latest thing I saw was they gave away like PS5s, like a small gold brick thing, and more on to all employees. I think it might only be to Arknights, but I don't know. So yeah, it makes sense. They wouldn't want to quit or something. If you would find someone, it probably wouldn't be someone that quit. It probably would be someone that got fired, is what I'm guessing, but yeah, it seems that's not really happening. I don't know if that actually has happened with Hypergryph. I can't say for sure, but yeah, if I anyway, if I worked at Hypergryph, I wouldn't quit either, to be honest. But yeah, continuing. With the clear directives from the leadership, combined with a highly skilled team of technical experts and executors, Hypergryph collective might is self-evident. In December 2024, Arknights Endfield released its second best PV, and a closed-door demo session. A friend who participated in the Endfield demo told LeiPhone that the current build is still a work in progress version and differs from the final product version in several aspects. Most obvious difference is that many interfaces still display command line. And yeah, of course, the beta is of course a work in progress. Of course, that's what the feedback mostly is for. But it makes me wonder how much more are they plan to add, or is it they will fix stuff. Basically, one reason beta and it's not a finished product. I still wonder like how much more content will they add, like compared to now. I don't know how many hours you could sink into Endfield now, but I will guess a good amount. But yeah, just a thing to think about. According to Hypergryph CEO Huang Yifeng, the team employed an industry-standard deep rework approach for the Unity and its architecture layer while retaining only the framework and tools. Internal core components and content were significantly rebuilt, substantial modifications to the graphics rendering system. For instance, the engine's underlying structure adopts data-oriented design (EPS), making the processing of a game component efficient. Graphics layer was also thoroughly reworked to better accommodate Endfield's unique visual style and gameplay. And yeah, this is something you can see if you read or saw my video kind of about me reading the G-Course interview they had with Hypergryph and LeiPhone. Really good interview. You should watch the video if you wanna listen, or you can read it yourself. I don't remember. Yeah, either you can read it yourself or watch the video. I would recommend watching it. And the friend further noted that the demo was run on industry-leading computers and devices, making it difficult to detect performance optimization issues during testing. However, based on experience with the other multi-platform games, optimization for various mobile devices and PC graphics cards will significantly impact the player experience. This, I guess, yeah. Yeah, okay. I mean, the game needs to be optimized good. I don't exactly how it works with that, but I guess they are kind of talking about like lag, FPS and stuff like that. So yeah, that will definitely experience. Compared to the first test demo, the second test showed a higher degree of completion, particularly in the combat system, which has been entirely overhauled to align with the mainstream action games in the ACG market. Pacing is notably faster, which, yeah, you can see if you watch, I guess, the demo, which, yeah, that's the only thing I watched that they released. Yeah, you can kind of see it. It's faster, but it's still kind of the same, I guess. Yeah, it's better in a way. Yeah, I mean, I would say it is a lot better. However, combat is not the central focus of Endfield, which is I might do a video about that. Not sure. That is, I saw a video of someone complained about the combat. But I haven't played the new combat or seen anything, so I can't comment that. But yeah, combat is, of course, if you didn't know, it's not the primary focus. It has base building, factory building. So yeah, if you are someone that gives feedback, I think you would need to think about that. Don't give feedback so the combat is still not, so it's not the focus. That's not the plan. Though, my guess is if they probably won't change it. They might change some stuff. I don't know. This is just my opinion. From from this, I guess, from very little information. Plus seeing the demo, I guess, not much information, but if if you give feedback to them about combat, give feedback that works, so the combat doesn't overtake the base build. Since the base building is a really important thing in Enfield. I don't think they will go away from that. So yeah, I just want to put that out. It could maybe, it depends on how Hypergryph wants it to do, but they will probably try to find a balance. But I just wanted to mention that. You have to think. You kind of have to think about what Hypergryph want to make for kind of a game, like kind of how much should the combat be and how much should the factory building be. Because from what I heard, the factory building is a really important part. Like you build the factory, you try to automate it, and that's where you get basically get most of the materials to upgrade operators, upgrade skill, upgrade upgrade character, upgrade, get artifact or gear for the character, stuff like that. I can't say how the gear thing works. I know it worked in some kind of way in the technical test. It might work differently now. I can't comment much more on that. I just wanted to mention a bit that in case someone that in the beta test and gives feedback to the game to them. Another thing, of course, they are going mainstream with Endfield, but it's still another game. It's not Genshin, it's not Asteii, it's not Endless or Withering Waves. It's a totally new game. It's a whole new game within the gacha game space. So yeah. Hey, if you have watched this for, I guess thank you, and yeah. Anyway, less japping and more breathing. Its primary experience revolves around a series of gameplay systems built on its expansive environment, including but not limited to tower defense and construction mechanics. As I just mentioned, basically, these mechanics are more closely integrated, while combat takes backseat in terms of priority. As, of course, I mentioned, combat is not necessarily the number one priority, but it exists. Like, I guess it exists a good amount, you could say. So that's something I hope. Like, is that's also the difference between the other, I guess, gacha games in Zenless, Genshin, Wuthering Waves, and Stardew. Maybe there may be more, but I guess Punishing Gray even works. Yeah. Arknights maybe. I don't know if that should count since it's tower defense, but anyway. If we compare it to like the other like Koyo games and Wooden Rain stuff like that, where combat is basically the main thing you do, like the only thing you do, except maybe exploration. In Endfield, that's not a top priority. That's more kind of a second part. In Endfield, it's factory building and automate the factory. And that's basically the people they are directing this game to. That's if you don't like factory, it will be harder to get into the game probably. That's a big part. It's basically what I'm trying to say, I guess. But of course, this game can also it can kind of introduce new players to factory building in a good way, I guess. So yeah, enough ranting about that. Even with the adoption of 3D development paradigms, essential for large-scale commercial games, Enfield retains Hypergryph's distinct author-driven characteristics. Just as third-person open-world games range from Ubisoft's mass-produced feeling but bland, industrialized titles to the deeply personal vision of Death Stranding. Ubisoft keeps taking stray bullet as usual. Hypergryph's unique blend of dodging routes and producer-driven style allows Endfield to deliver a gameplay experience that merges distinctive mechanics with stylistic storytelling. This dual identity is perhaps the core reason why Hypergryph can create a title like Endfield, which combines innovative gameplay with a stylized narrative approach. Yeah, that's something you kind of can see in, I guess, normal Arknights. It has good gameplay, even if it's tower defense and niche genre, and other things. The story is good, like Babel, for example. I haven't read the Lone Trail, should probably do that. But yeah, that's also a good story or side of story that many people in within that have read it likes it, and the same goes for the Babel story, which, yeah, if you have read it, I don't know what to say, to be honest. The industry still calls for author-driven games. Despite its relentless efforts in building the ACG ecosystem, Hypergryph and its founder LeiPhone remain relatively low profile when it comes to interacting with the outside world. A friend who works in the securities industry from recounted an experience at a certain annual game industry conference, where he met with executives from Shanghai's or Small Dragons, referring to the city's most prominent game companies. Was he told LeiPhone that the attitude of the founders towards investors from the primary and secondary markets varied greatly, reflecting their different personalities. Some founders would let people scan their WeChat QR codes, but never approve the requests. Others, more expressive, would directly accept the connection. However, LeiPhone and his team were so elusive that even scanning the QR was nearly impossible. The low-key approach to external interactions mirrors Hypergryph's current development model for Arknights Endfield. Work quietly and aim for an explosive debut, much like the path Arknights took back in the day. This is something, I don't know if I should say I like it or not. I mean, it is nice, and you can see it with Enfield, of course. Like, after the technical test, they became quiet. There were a few things here and there, like announcing Gamescom, those kind of stuff. Basically only that. And yeah, Tokyo Game Show, and among other. And then, boom, after the Game Awards, a trailer for closed beta test, which was basically unexpected. Most that no Endfield expected and was waiting for the beta test expected it to be during the Game Award, but they trolled you a bit, kind of, and it was after the day after. However, in Fang Lin's view, while Enfield carries a strong author-driven style, it still needs to be commercially viable. Questions like, who are the players? Why will they play? How much are they willing to spend? I mean, critical soul-searching questions that need answers. And of course, these questions are both important, and especially the third, since it's a gacha game. And if that's a question they are asking, Hypergryph, then that's really good. I don't know if other gacha companies does that, but it's still really good. Like, who are the players? Arknights players, among other, like factory people that like factory building, for example. Why will they play? Combat, story, maybe, factory building. There are multiple things within Enfield then. And then, how much are they willing to spend? For me, when it comes to Hypergryph, if I have money, I'm willing to spend as much as possible, I guess. Since it's Hypergryph, that my favorite company, one of my favorites at least. For example, as one of Enfield's core gameplay elements, the combination of simulation management and tower defense combat, with its unique stylized narrative, inherently filters it whether its long-term progression mechanics can attract and retain this type of player is something only time can tell. Most part is of course true, and I mean, it's with how it is, with the people amount of, it depends on how many people that have watched the demo, plus it get sponsored, stuff like that. From just watching, there are some that might get filtered, but otherwise not necessarily, I think. I mean, it depends. Since there might be some, there definitely are people like, for example, Genshin players maybe that gacha players that go from gacha game to gacha game, like maybe first it was Genshin, then Star Rail, then Withering Wave, then Zenless, something like that, basically. Like they are going from game to game, basically. I don't know, complain? Maybe? I don't know, that's might happen, but yeah, it's just something that I've seen happen with some. I can't say for sure about that, but it probably will filter most of it. Though, yeah, with beta test it, that try and try to get into beta test and manage to get in, then sell the account, some stuff like that. Bad stuff happen, and it's inevitable, basically. Sadly. Hypergryph's signature author-driven style and its jobs like obsessive attention to product detail remain evident, but whether this product will find a widespread market or not being too ahead of its time depends on how well the creators are current market. This is reminiscent of Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding, a game that won TJ's Game of the Year, yet struggled commercially, praised by critics but not embraced by masses. Which, yeah, you can probably see. But for me, that I've played Death Stranding, I honestly liked it. And to be honest, I mean, not if I don't think it's Arknights, like, forget it's, I guess, Arknights within the Arknights franchise. I still think I would like Endfield, honestly. I can't say for sure, but if it weren't Arknights Endfield, it were like basically the same game. I can't say for sure, but I think I would like it, to be honest. That said, judging from the current state of development and the feedback from closed-door testing, the chances of success for Arknights Endfield appear far from slim. This isn't just due to the core development team's unity and dedication. Lowlight, H2, and other decision makers have been deeply involved at every critical development milestone, working side by side with the frontline developers. This in-the-trenches process adds an extra layer of motivation to an already highly productive and efficient Enfield team. Which is, yeah, this is real nice and good, honestly. Like the higher ups, like, kind of basically personally go to the developers and work with them to find solutions, something like that. Which is, yeah, it's nice. And of course, I mean, Arknights Endfield success was far from slim, like, and at the beginning, I think, since it's Arknights is already big, and I mean they will definitely most that play Arknights will play Endfield probably. Since it's Hypergryph and it's Arknights, this story is amazing, and I, as well as many other, probably trust Hypergryph to make this story in Endfield really good. Through tireless efforts and hands-on involvement, the key creators of Endfield have forged a development model that has sensed their natural talents, embracing the spirit of handcrafted game making, by the inherent challenge of addressing technical gaps and tackling gameplay design difficulties. The final product may not become the highest grossing title, however, the game's finer details Players will undoubtedly feel the development passion and sincerity, which, yeah, I kind of already feel in a sense, especially, I mean, even if I haven't played it, but I mean, for me, I just trust hype. In an era where industrialized, mass-produced games dominate, Enfield might stand as one of the rare examples of artisan punk romance, a testament to the enduring charm of handcrafted games in a world where creative vision often gives way to special effects. So, yeah, that was the article. Real long and good article. If you if you listened or watched all the way through the video, I I want to thank you, I guess, since this is the longest one I've done, longer than I usually stream. I do, I guess, but yeah, this is a really good one. You can read it yourself to maybe understand more, and yeah, that's for this video basically. You can comment your thoughts on this, your, I guess, the moments uh, from the article if you want, and your thoughts overall, I guess. That's it. In the probably.